thank you so much for coming. It really means the world to me. I feel like I'm going to cry that there's so many supporters here for A Bowl Full of Hearts that I wrote for the Amy's Kisses Foundation. And for those of you who don't know, a little backstory, I'll keep it short, about the Amy's Kisses Foundation and how it was formed. The Amy's Kisses Foundation, I founded it with my parents and my sister's best friend, Patty Cush, who, okay. So we founded this in memory of my sister and my niece and nephew who were brutally murdered at the hands of their husband and father. And that was on October 18th, 2011. So my parents and I and my kids felt like they had the scarlet letter, walking around with it, and I was staring at my parents with the elephant in the room, and we had to do something. So I said, let's do something good to honor their memory, and we have to give back so no one forgets them. So that's my sister, Amy, and that's Molly and Gregory. They were only 8 and 10 when they were taken from us. So we started this foundation. My parents did not want to recognize that it was domestic violence because it wasn't even on their radar screen, and they couldn't even fathom what was going on, and neither could I. So our mission statement when we started Amy's Kisses was to educate students in need. My sister was all about education. She was always the smart one. She graduated from Cornell. She was in Phi Beta Kappa. She went on and got her MBA from Wharton, and she worked at a bank. We started already. So my parents wanted to focus on that and not the last 5 minutes of her life. So we focused it on education. And we give scholarships to Pennsbury, graduating seniors. We give to Heights, which is the new Philadelphia Futures. And we sponsor a scholar for them to go to college because they don't have the opportunity. We gave Kindle lending libraries to Bristol Township schools. We give to Donors Choose, if anyone ever heard of that. We donate to One Love, Laurel House, everything. Thanks, Nancy. Everything for education. And my sister was starting an SAT tutoring business before she passed away. And we donate SAT books. And she wanted to offer her services free of charge when her business was up and running, but she never had the opportunity. So we do it for her. So about 5 years ago, I wanted to touch on the domestic violence aspect of what happened. So I wanted to keep it positive, and we incorporated education with healthy relationships. So the first thing I did was we refurbished libraries at Women Against Abuse in Philadelphia. They have 2 shelters, so we refurbished their libraries. And that's how we started into the domestic violence aspect of the tragedy. And then it came to be we wanted to have our own program for Amy's Kisses instead of simply, which we still do, give out and support other nonprofits, which we still do, and we keep that part of the mission up and running. But we also want to educate students about healthy relationships, and that's why I wrote the book. So it comes from the heart. And yes, sweetie.
How did they get taken away?
Someone hurt them. That's why we have to keep our hands to ourselves.
Yeah, someone knocked down the structure.
Exactly.
She was surprised.
Right. So what did you say? Please stop.
Yeah.
Right. Make a better choice. Exactly.
And she'll start crying.
Mm-hmm.
And he started laughing and didn't say sorry.
Right. So what do you have to do?
Tell the teacher.
Mm-hmm. Good choice. Okay. So I wrote this. It's called A Bowl Full of Hearts. And it's a story, and it's also a community education program. So we have lessons in the back that Miss Dot and Miss Diane helped create. And also we have lessons from A Woman's Place, a domestic violence agency in Bucks County. They use it as their community education program, and they have their own lesson plans that go along with the book. And Emma will tell you about that in a little bit. So I'll read the book, and it's being taped because schools and teachers who get the book wanted to see exactly what to do when they have it in their classrooms. So I'll read it, and then we'll talk about the lesson plans, and that will be it. Okay, A Bowl Full of Hearts. Okay, I'm already going to stop. A Bowl Full of Hearts. I put A Bowl Full of Hearts because this is the special bowl. My mother bought it for my sister when she was tutoring, and she kept it on her desk. And whenever a student did well, she tossed them a chocolate candy when they did well. So that's why we always have our Hershey Kisses. I have a bowl in my classroom at school. I can't keep it filled with Hershey Kisses. Can anyone guess why? Because she eats them all. Right, so it should have Hershey Kisses in them, but I keep them in a separate spot. Okay, A Bowl Full of Hearts. Okay, hold on.
Thanks, Phil.
Calling you out. Okay, Maggie. Okay, these are other little fun facts. Maggie is Molly, which is my niece. Amy, which is my sister, only sibling, and Gregory. Okay, Maggie could not wait to go to school. She was bursting with excitement because she had something extraordinary to share with her friends. Okay, and every time there's a bold word in the book, that means it's a sign of a healthy relationship. So we just in the book want to introduce to preschoolers through second grade, just to introduce the terminology of the 10 signs of a healthy relationship. Got it. Yes. So they're not going to understand it right now in preschool 3 and 4, but they'll hear it. And you can, as a teacher, you can throw out the terms, trust, fun, kind. But so they're highlighted in the book, and well, actually, not extraordinary, but the bowl will fill up with hearts with the 10 signs of a healthy relationship. Okay. It was a silver bowl that her favorite Aunt Kim had given her. But this was just not any bowl. This bowl had special powers. Maggie's aunt had confided in her that the silver bowl could talk. It's a silent whisper, Aunt Kim said, and it doesn't talk to just anybody. You have to be really ready to listen to what it is telling you. If you listen hard enough and make good choices about the people you spend time with, this bowl will magically fill up with beautiful hearts. Okay. Maggie hurried into her classroom and spotted her friend Charlie. He was playing with blocks. At school, Charlie and Maggie did almost everything together. Charlie, look at this. My Aunt Kim gave me a magic bowl, and I brought it to school today, Maggie said excitedly. Why don't we build a house for your bowl? Asked Charlie. Good idea, Charlie exclaimed Maggie. After a few minutes of working together, the two friends had built a home where her silver bowl could rest. And this happens to be the preschool classroom where I teach. Just saying. Just then, Maggie heard the quiet, subtle words the bowl was speaking to her. Okay, and this is the chorus that hopefully if teachers start it in preschool and then go to pre-K, kindergarten, if everyone has the book, they can remember the chorus. Now is the time to stop and say, does this friend make me happy? Should I continue to play? If I'm not feeling good and I don't want to stay, I will find a new friend and leave straight away. Okay, because making good choices starts as early as 3 and 4 years old. Okay, they're already ready to learn. She answered the bowl without saying a word. Yes, indeed, she thought. Charlie is a wonderful friend whom I can trust with my precious bowl. Okay, so there we go. It wasn't extraordinary. It was trust. And then they have the magic line that goes, and there's a heart in the bowl. In the art area, Maggie decided to draw a picture of her special bowl. Maggie usually played with Charlie, but sometimes she liked to work independently by herself, and so did Charlie. So there we go. They can follow the bowl. They can count the hearts. 1, 2, 3. Maggie really liked the comfortable pace of their friendship. She never felt like she had to only play with Charlie. Maggie and Charlie knew they would always be there for each other, but she could play with her other friends too. Sometimes she played with Emma or Michael, and Charlie played with William and Georgia. Where did I come up with those names? Isn't it? I'm so creative. After Maggie had finished painting, she heard a loud scream coming from the block area. The home that she and Charlie had made for the bowl had been destroyed. Oh my goodness. Her precious bowl was lying on its side on the ground. Maggie was heartbroken. Then she saw that Sally, Henry, and Charlie were laughing, kicking blocks, and being loud. What should she do, Ellen? Maggie raced over and Charlie stopped laughing. She couldn't believe that Charlie was a part of this. But Charlie was his usual honest self and admitted his wrongdoing. He took responsibility for what he did and they rebuilt their house together. I'm sorry for what I did, Maggie, said Charlie. Is he a good friend? Yes, he apologized. Sally and Henry did not apologize. They said they hadn't done anything wrong. But Maggie knew better, and she felt sad. Then her silver bowl whispered to her. If you know the chorus, you can read it along. Now is the time to stop and say, does this friend make me happy? Should I continue to play? If I'm not feeling good and I don't want to stay, I should find a new friend and leave straight away. Maggie listened to the wise words of her bowl and chose to walk away from Sally and Henry. Good choice, right? Later that day, it was time for Maggie's favorite activity, the playground. Maggie couldn't decide what to do with her special bowl while she was outside. She wanted to make sure it was safe after what had happened earlier. Why don't you just leave it inside your cubby, Charlie suggested. No, I want to take it outside. I'll put it on the picnic table while we play, she said. I don't know if that's a good idea, Maggie, said Charlie. Well, that's what I'm going to do, she insisted. Yes. Maggie stuck up for what she wanted to do. The wise words of her bowl went through Maggie's head once again. Join in. Now is the time to stop and say, does this friend make me happy? Should I continue to play? If I'm not feeling good and I don't want to stay, I should find a new friend and leave straight away. After listening to the bowl's words once again, Maggie realized that it was fine to disagree with a friend as long as you respect and listen to what each other has to say. She remembered that their teacher had called that healthy conflict. Maggie chose to line up with Charlie to go outside on the playground. How many hearts are in the bowl now? Can anyone count? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The monkey bars were Maggie's favorite. Swinging from ring to ring and trying to reach the last one was a big challenge. Charlie liked climbing on the huge wooden castle and then sliding down the twirly slide. Yes, sweetie? Nothing? Let's play on the monkey bars first, and then we can climb on the castle, said Charlie. Great, let's go, exclaimed Maggie. That way it's equal, boop, 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 and fair. They both had turns at having fun and doing what they loved the most. What's happening to the bowl?
Getting filled.
Filled with magical hearts? When school was over, Maggie gathered all of her things and cradled her special silver bowl in her arms. She thought about how kind Charlie had been to her and her special bowl all day. Then her bowl quietly whispered to her for one last time that day. Does anyone remember what it said? Now is the time to stop and say, does this friend make me happy? Should I continue to play? If I'm not feeling good and I don't want to stay, I should
find a new friend and leave straight away.
Awesome sauce. Maggie remembered what her Aunt Kim had told her about the bowl. I made good choices by continuing to play with Charlie and walking away from Sally and Henry, she thought. Sally and Henry did not make me feel very good inside. Maggie couldn't wait for her Aunt Kim to visit that night. Look what's inside my bowl, Maggie cried when she saw her. And when they looked inside her silver bowl, Maggie and her Aunt Kim saw that it was filled with 10 beautiful hearts. Let's make sure. Ready, Bren? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woohoo! Okay, and at the end of the book, there's the 10 signs of a healthy relationship, which is also on a poster that we have. And then there are the lesson plans. Okay, so it's basically from preschool to 2nd or 3rd grade. Most of the nonprofit agencies start at 3rd grade, so when we were trying to think of a project to do, we thought, oh, you know what? It starts, I can see it in the classroom so early, so we'll start at preschool, 3 years old, and that's how. And my niece Molly loved to read, so it all worked out together. So it was a book about healthy relationships. Okay, so one of the projects teachers can do as a preschool teacher is that the kids can glue on the hearts, cut out their bowl, glitter it up, possibly trace a bowl full of hearts, depending on the level. So that is one idea for preschool age children. And then we have more ideas, right, Miss Dot?
Yes, we do.
For pre-K. You're doing, well, she's going to do her journal. Come on up. Huh? Oh, this has to go in.
So another thing you can do, and you can do this at home too, it doesn't have to be just a school activity. I did this with one of my children last year in the pre-K room. She was 5 years old, so she was very verbal and she could write. So she started a journal, and the first thing we did is we found a lot of pictures of things that she liked. Dogs, shapes, numbers, cookies, candy, the castle in Walt Disney World. And then the first thing we did after that, on the next day, we wrote this journal, and she copied my words. I would write it up here, and she would write it underneath. This journal belongs to, and this was Lila, so this was Lila's journal. And the first thing we said was Maggie was very excited to show Charlie her magic bowl. Have you ever taken something special to school? What was it? And then she wrote, my bracelet. And then I wrote, because I like unicorns, and I got it from the dentist. So she got a unicorn bracelet from the dentist, which she wore to school every day. And then I asked her, think of a friend that you trust. What makes this friend make you trust them? And she wrote her friend Logan's name, and she said, because sometimes she plays with me. And then she drew a picture of Logan and herself. And then on another day I said, Maggie likes to work in the art area by herself. What is your favorite independent activity? And she also said art area. And then on a different day, I said, do you have a friend that will be there for you, even when you choose to be or work alone? And that's an example of comfortable pace in a relationship. And she said her best friend was Amelia, and I wrote, because she is my friend. And there she drew a picture of herself, Lila, and this is a picture of Amelia. And then on a different day, I read to her, Maggie was very upset when the house she and Charlie built together was knocked down and her bowl was on its side. Charlie was honest about what happened. Can you think of a time when you were honest with a friend when their feelings were hurt? And she said, I didn't tell anyone. When have you taken responsibility for hurting a friend's feelings? She said, no, but you can say you're sorry. And then at the end I said, what was your favorite part of the story and why? And she said, the part where she was drawing, and there is magic. It's yellow magic. And if you saw in the book, every time the hearts went out, you would found a trail of, and that's very observant for her to notice that. But this was something she really liked to do. It's something you could do at home. We could do it in the class individually. If the children can't write, you can write their words down for them. It's a good language builder also, reading, activities, things like that.
So this could be modified from like preschool all the way up to second or third grade. So the way you could developmentalize appropriately this lesson. It's so late. Obviously, this is very teacher done, but if the kids are able to cut out the letters themselves and then paste it onto the board. And then I told Miss Jill I made the hearts pink on here. I know they're red in the story, but I wanted the hearts with the words to stand out. And then there would be, for an older classroom, you could have pockets, and each heart would be in a different sign of a healthy relationship. And the words would be written on the hearts. But for a preschool class and pre-K, because they're not ready to read yet, my thought was during the day, if you see friends working together and they're exhibiting any of the 10 sides of a healthy relationship, you could say, you know, Bryn, I love the way that you had fun with your friends on the playground and made good choices. Grab a heart and slip it into the bowl, which my bowl works. Super proud of it. And Bryn could write her initials on it, and then she can just slip it into the bowl. And then the kids can watch it get filled up with all their good choices of healthy, signs of a healthy relationship. And Miss Jill had made this last year with her preschool friends where they traced the words, and they did match the words, a bowl full of hearts, and they had that in their classroom. And we do this around,
Valentine's Day.
no, wasn't it closer to Martin Luther King? Because friendship and all that? Okay. I think we had done it in January to kind of to tie in like that idea of healthy relationships and making good friendships and good choices with friends.
Hi. So, A Woman's Place is the only domestic violence response organization in Bucks County, and they have incorporated A Bowl Full of Hearts into their community education program. So that means they go around Bucks County and present the book along with supplemental materials that they created, and that's for pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. So an example of that would be for third grade, there is this worksheet that says, I can fill my friend's bowl by, and then they would just fill it out. Or I can show a friendship sign by, and then fill it out. Or for first grade, the teacher could read a scenario and have the students guess which one of the 10 signs of a healthy friendship that is being described. And along with the activity, there's also the coloring page that they can fill out.
Hi everyone, I'm Eileen Goy, Mason's mom. I have a 5-year-old who was in Miss Jo's class last year, and that's where I first learned about the book, A Bowl Full of Hearts. So I just wanted to talk briefly today about a few personal stories from the book, A Bowl Full of Hearts, and how I feel it was so powerful and such a beneficial book for young kids. After reading it at home and after Mason was reading it so much in Miss Jo's class, he was actually able to recite that portion of the book about how he can walk away when he's in an uncomfortable situation. And when I asked Mason what his favorite part about the book was and what he learned from the book, he talked a little bit about what it meant to be a good friend and what it meant to be in a healthy relationship. And he started to talk about trust, and I think that that's such an important topic to bring about at such a young age and to talk about. And he was talking about how he can trust his friends at school, and he named a couple of his friends. He talked a little bit about how he can't trust strangers because he doesn't know them, and how he can trust his teachers and friends and family. And that also brought about a lot of really good, rich conversation as well about what it really means to trust somebody. So it's not just because you know them, it's the characteristics that that person has that really makes you want to trust somebody. Knowing that Mason is able to really identify what it means to be a good friend at such a young age, I think is also really important too. And the book brings that out and talks about that as well. Miss Jo did a wonderful job with the book. And I just feel so lucky that Mason was able to be in her class last year and learn about it as well. So.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming. And spread the word. I have a grant. Sorry. I have a grant, and I can donate books to classrooms, preschool to second grade. So if you know any teachers who are interested, I have softcover books for all their students and a hardcover book for their classroom. So you can spread the word, and they can contact me. All my information's on the website, and I have like little handouts if you want to take it home, if you want to know how to contact me. So I'd love to give out some more books if you know some teachers, and so we can get into the schools. Thank you for coming. Take a cookie, have a water. Okay.